guys, it's Melanie, and today we're going to be starting off with my 3 top paranormal experiences that I've had in my entire life. Let's get straight into the video. We're going to be talking about my paranormal experiences. If you guys are OGs, you know that I've had a few paranormal experiences in my life. So these are all based on a true story, and keep watching if you like that kind of video. Rolling back all the way back to 2015, I was about 16 years old. And I was getting ready for bed before high school, before I had to start my next school day or whatever. It basically rolls back to when I looked at my deceased grandparents' wedding book. It hadn't been opened up for years, and I get this thought, like, let me look over, check over into my mom's room or whatever. And I'm like, hey, mom. No response. I knock on the door, and I'm like, hey mom, I watch this whole shadow go into my mom's room, and I'm like, okay, like what the heck? And so I'm like, whatever, like maybe I just walked in like at a bad time, like I accidentally walked in on her or whatever. And I go back combing my hair, brushing my teeth. I like check in on her again, and I'm like, hey mom, and she's like, what? And I'm like, why'd you run into the closet like that? I see this big, tall, black figure run into the closet really quick. And I'm like, why'd you run into the closet like that? And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not messing around with you. Like, I'm being for real. Like, why'd you run into the closet like that? And she's basically just like, I'm probably gonna have to sleep with the door open because I did not run into the closet like that. And I just kind of like thought like, okay. And so basically that following week, I have this dream, and it's me, my mom, my dad, and my grandmother that passed away. Mind you, I've never met her a day in my life. And I'm like, so like, what are we doing here in the dream? Like, what's going on? And they're both like, so why are you afraid to touch her? Mind you, they do not talk like this in real life. So what I'm thinking in my mind is like, okay, she's talking through them because she's just sitting in the dream watching me, just kind of like looking at me, and I'm like, okay, like, so I'm thinking she's like talking to me through them. She's talking to me through my parents in the dream. And so basically they're like, why are you afraid to touch her? Why are you afraid to talk to her? And I'm like, because she's dead. And they just look at me, and halfway through me like waking up and in my dream, I hear something whisper in my ear and say, I'm touching you right now. I freaked the heck out, guys. And I'm like waking up, and I look around my room, and I'm like, what the f-? And I felt something grip me by my shoulder, like as I hear this thing whisper in my ear and say, I'm touching you right now. This thing gripped me by my shoulder and said, I'm touching you right now. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So my second paranormal experience that I have had was when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I had sleep paralysis. So if you guys aren't familiar with sleep paralysis, it's when you basically fall asleep and you have a very like realistic feeling dream as if it happened in real life. Sometimes it does happen in real life. I think my sleep paralysis experience happened in real life. I basically had a dream that my grandmother that is currently alive on my mother's side, I was at her house and I was alone, and I'm looking through the house. We're on Secluded Lane. She doesn't live here anymore, so I can say the name. And I'm like, Grandma, like, where are you at? And I'm all by myself, and I go in the basement and nobody's there. And so basically, I see her and I'm like kind of spooked out because like all of a sudden I see her and I like wake up and I see like her silhouette as I'm fully awake. And she's standing at the edge of my bed, and I'm just like in my head like, what the heck? And I'm just staring at her and I can't move. And I'm like trying to wiggle my fingers, trying to wiggle my toes, and like literally that's all I can move are my like eyes, my toes, my fingers. Can't move anything else on my body. And there's this like, I can't see a face, it's just this black silhouette that looks like my grandmother on my mom's side that's still living. And I close my eyes tight and I can just feel this eerie feeling like, oh my God, like what is going to happen to me? As I close my eyes and I open them back up, all of a sudden the silhouette is gone. And I'm like, what just happened? So this third experience that I've had happened in real life. I was getting ready for school. This happened probably about maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago. And I like hear somebody come into the house. So I'm like curling my hair, like doing whatever. Like I'm like, Mom, and nothing. So basically I'm hearing like silverware moving around, like how you would hear somebody making breakfast in the morning. And I'm like, okay, like maybe Mom got off work early. And so I just go about my business, and then I feel like I finish up grabbing my school ID, my college ID or whatever, and I go downstairs and I look around and I'm like, okay. Look in the garage. No cars in the garage. I'm like, what the actual... I just kind of like sit there and I'm like, okay. Either I'm going crazy, which 9 times out of 10, based off of my other videos that I've uploaded, y'all know, that's not the case. Grab everything I need, my water bottle or whatever. I'm pulling out of the neighborhood and my mom pulls up. I'm like, did you stop at the house for a quick second? Cause I felt like I heard you moving around in the kitchen. Mind you, this is literally right after I went through a few boxes that my dad brought upstairs because he was trying to clear out the garage for other reasons. And I came across that same wedding book from earlier that I mentioned in the video. And I'm like, so did you stop in the house? She's like, no, how do you say that? And I'm like, well, I could have sworn that I literally heard somebody rattling around in the kitchen. She's like, okay. And I'm like, well, just like kind of look around in the house, make sure everything's good. I could have just been hearing things or whatever, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard somebody rattling around in the kitchen. So basically, she texts me, she's like, everything's good. I'm like, okay, whatever. And those are my 3 paranormal experiences, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give this a like and a thumbs up if you liked it. And I will see you in the next